Welcome to America Uncanceled. I'm Mercedes Schlapp. Well, I guess we're starting June a little early because Target has decided to partner with a Satanist designer to create pride apparel popping up in Targets everywhere. The UK-based collaborator notably markets overt satanic merchandise with such things like pins that say, "Satan respects pronouns." The new Target clothing line also includes swimsuits with a tuck-friendly design. After foreseeable backlash from parents and conservatives alike, Target held an emergency meeting where they are doubtlessly lamenting their fate as the next Bud Light. CPAC also sent a letter to the CEO and board members of Target Corporation telling them that they need to end their partnership with the satanic designer. Joining us today to discuss these attacks on people of faith and on America's children is Director of Empowerment Moms for America, Alys Legge. Alys, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, you're a mom, you know how this goes. When you first saw what Target did, especially when we heard that they are collaborating with a satanic designer, specifically to push some children's products, what was your reaction?
I was shocked, just like everyone else. Honestly, would they really collaborate with any kind of Christian outreach or a Christian designer of that nature? I suppose not. So we're sitting here and we're watching, corporations do things that have never been done before and that really are attacking our children and our family dynamic. And it's really scary.
So, I think Target they're dealing with this backlash. There's word that they've lost about $9 billion since the boycott, which is interesting because I know as conservatives, I'm not a big boycott person, but I've gotten to the point that I'm so tired of just one woke corporation after another completely insulting my faith, and really that I have to be protecting my children from going into these stores. I was definitely a Target shopper. It was very convenient. But then when I walked in and saw queer tarot cards, I was literally like, what is this? We can't even as women, and I have teenage daughters, go to the girls section to find tuck-friendly bathing suits. Why do you think these woke corporations have moved in this direction towards really embracing this obsession with sexuality and radical gender ideology?
I really think that they are trying to capitalize on a movement, on the small fringe that seems to be very loud in our country. And they're doing that by going after our kids. I, for example, have not shopped at Target for a really long time since I found binding-friendly tops for girls. And that was really disturbing. So I decided to just stop shopping there. I shop elsewhere. And Americans are able to do that. We're able to vote with our pocketbook, and we are making strides when we do that, because frankly, a lot of us are really tired of seeing our children become attacked or being attacked through these kinds of corporate ideological pushing that they're doing. And so that's the beauty of American consumerism and American capitalism.
Yeah, before we used to think, I think, for conservatives and conservative moms, or even just center-right moms, that, we just would get along, just get it done. We have enough to deal with, and then have to also deal with what our kids are watching on social media, if they go to a store, if they're completely bombarded with all this sexuality and gender ideology talk. And then you add to that the satanic part of this. That really put me over the edge. When you're talking to other moms, do you think that, what's been their reaction? Do you think that they feel the boycott's going to be enough for Target to change their behavior?
Well, being that I am the director of Empower Moms at Moms for America, I get calls from parents across the country discussing this issue. And a lot of parents are really frustrated that when they go shopping and they are forced to have conversations with their children that they normally wouldn't have at the time that they have to have them. And so they do believe that the boycott is it's a necessity, and that it can work. But we need to not stop at boycotts. We need to make sure that we are holding people accountable for pushing this gender ideology on our children, because it confuses them. It completely disrupts the family dynamic, and it also this is bigger than Target. Okay, this has to deal with, you know, Dr. Money, and it has to deal with a lot of other nefarious doctors and people that are in the profession that are pushing this ideology on children that is not safe for them.
Right.
They are
And
hijacking it.
that's actually a great point, because it does expand beyond just these woke corporations. You're talking about doctors who are making money pushing these radical surgeries, which of course disrupt the development, the proper development of our children, pushing for puberty blockers, where these children, as they go into adulthood, if they are transitioning, they will have to be on they are going to have to be on some sort of a prescription drug for the rest of their lives, including the child mutilation part, which obviously is irreversible. So it truly is just, you know, just so tragic to watch not only some of the doctors, but these parents that are saying, oh yeah, my child at 5 was born, you know, she was born a girl and now is a boy. It just makes no sense to me. So
they're romanticizing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, it seems like they're romanticizing the mental illness that comes with, you know, having gender dysphoria, and being that we get canceled for speaking the truth about what this does to the quality of life of children and the quality of life of people that go through these transitions. It shows that we are speaking the truth, right? We have the truth behind us. And like I said before, it is way bigger than Target. This is a bigger discussion that needs to happen on airways like this. And we're so grateful that you are able to do that, to bring more information to the public, because it is definitely needed.
So do you think this issue of that, you know, the radical, you know, gender ideology, do you believe this will be one of these issues that is going to be front and center when we enter into this presidential election season?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. This is going to be a huge topic for sure.
And then, you know, the other thing is, we saw this with Bud Light, where they, you know, obviously recruited Dylan Mulvaney, a biological male, to try to sell beer. You're seeing obviously the backlash where they have lost over $15 billion in sales. I mean, they're actually sending out rebates now to folks to say, hey, we'll give you a rebate if you buy our beer, you know,
wow.
This weekend and Memorial Day weekend. Do you think that these companies are finally going to get the message?
I would hope so. I would hope so. I know that Target is not apologizing for what they're doing. They fully back what they're doing and believe that children should be exposed to these things. And so, again, I don't think that this ends with Target. And it started with with Bud Light, and they've noticed that they've made a mistake, because one, they're not just trying to erase women, they're trying to exploit little girls, because Devin Mulvaney is pretending to be a little girl. He's not pretending to be a woman.
Right.
And that is something that people need to understand as well. So when you bring up the LGBTQ flag, LGBTQ plus AI, whatever the acronyms are, when you bring it up and you see these different colors that are added, you see a white, you see yellow, and you see baby pink and like a baby blue. And this is essentially for the minor attracted persons or a youth attracted persons that is added to the already existing LGBTQ flag. And so what I would like to say is that the most dangerous place for these companies and these people to be in is in between a mother and their child.
Yeah.
You don't come after our kids.
Right. You know, there's a lawsuit happening here in the state of Maryland nearby that parents wanted to opt out of some of these sexual books, you know, that are intended for second graders. So they have like a Pride puppy book. So it's basically using words as underwear and drag king and drag queen. And there's a whole list of books out there. So these parents are saying, and it's a lot of these Muslim and Christian parents that the Beckett Fund is representing, basically saying, wait a second here. I want to be able to opt out. And Maryland, the school board is saying, no, you can't. So what's your reaction to the fact that these parents, which you would think they should have the right to decide what their children read, where do you think this ends up?
I think it ends up in a lawsuit because
Yeah.
parents
Yeah.
are fundamentally, they have the fundamental rights to, guide their children the way they best see fit. And parents are the biggest consumers of public education. And public education is not to educate children on social norms or social constructs or socially accepted things. They are supposed to teach them their core curriculum:
Right.
science, reading, math, English,
Yeah.
writing, all of those things, the core curriculum that will make them successful when they get into college, will make them successful when they graduate and become a part of the communities that they belong to. But in college, when they're in college, they can learn whatever it is that they feel that they want to learn. But for their first 12 years, learning these things is very detrimental to them because their brains just cannot comprehend
Yeah.
the complexity that this involves.
Right, and then we're dealing also with social media reality for many teenagers, especially for teenage girls, which we've seen 3 out of 5 teenage girls have experienced hopelessness or depression. We even had the Surgeon General come out and mention the dangers of social media. I really believe this is a huge bipartisan issue. I don't see any action being taken, I don't think, on either side at this point. What do you think would be some of the steps that can be taken, not only by our government, but by our faith community and by nonprofits, to help in really combating against this horrific public health emergency of mental health and what's happening to our youth?
My first suggestion would be to stop living in fear. Do not be afraid of being called mean names. I ran for school board in Tampa, Florida, and was called white supremacist in blackface.
Oh boy.
So all because I wanted to protect parental rights and protect our children from being, medically castrated and indoctrinated with certain ideologies, any ideology actually. So they're just words. And if you have your identity in Christ, then it doesn't matter what anyone else calls you, right? So do not be afraid of being called mean names. You'll get over it, and we just need to speak up. When we see things that are messed up or things that are not going the way that they should be going, we need to speak up and take action, get involved, go to your school board meetings, question them, build relationships with them so that you are able to communicate what your needs are in your community in order for them to hold them accountable for what they do when they're sitting on the dais. And this isn't just for school board. This is for all elected representatives.
Right.
They are supposed to represent us. They're not supposed to represent the lobbyists that come to them in their short skirts and low fitted shirts and bring all their goodies and provide them with millions of dollars in their coffers. This is about the American people. And we need to stand up and unite together, nonpartisan, because this is all nonpartisan. This is about the future of America and protecting our children.
Allie, can I ask you, do you think it's too late for America to turn it around? I mean, I almost feel like, when you were probably growing up, when I was growing up, like these weren't issues we were dealing with. I see the bombardment on TikTok, on everything that's just pushing this radical agenda on our children. And, if you're an adult and you want to make your life decision, go right ahead. But the fact that it's really penetrating into the youth is a huge problem. Do you think it's just too little too late?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It is never too little too late. God called Abraham out of his house at 98 years old. It is not too late for us to take action. We just need to stand firm in what we're doing and understand that truth is on our side. And we just need to live fearlessly, walk by faith, not by fear, and just go and do what you know that you need to do. If not you, then who? If not now, then when? Now is a perfect time to get involved.
Amen. What a great message. What can we expect coming out of Moms for America here in the next few months?
Oh my goodness, we have so many good things coming out. We have lots of podcasts that are coming out. We have school district ambassadors that will be coming out where we'll teach people how to petition properly their school board and their elected representatives. And we're just really, really excited to get things going and to bring more people into the fold so that they are properly empowered, educated, empowered to take action for what best fits them.
Well, here at CPAC, we love Moms for America. You are an incredible partner. We love working with your team and really the happy warriors fighting hard to make sure that we save this country and save our children. So I want to thank you, Allie, for joining the show.
Thank you so much.
And remember, if you missed an episode, you can always go back and watch on our website. Just go to cpac.org/now, or you can listen wherever you get your podcast. We'll see you next time. God bless.